What also happened was at the end of Rob Beiswinger's opening debate on the issue this morning, he said he was going to petition the governor for a pardon for this woman here. She testified earlier was it last week? It was last week. She testified on her name's not David Pettinger. That gentleman was up earlier, and they didn't swap the name, so don't be confused by that. But this is maybe we can put her name at the bottom, Yvonne's name. Anyway, let's listen to some of her testimony here.
Yvonne?
Yes.
Okay.
And as David said, I am a January 6er. I was pardoned 1 week ago for my participation in the protest against the stolen election. I spent nearly 15 months in federal prison. I was released 2 weeks ago to the halfway house. I spent 1 week in the halfway house until I was pardoned by President Trump. In December of 2020, I went to a mask mandate at Central District Health and to protest the hearing to force us to wear masks. My body, my choice. I'm a sovereign being, and no one's going to tell me what I need to cover my mouth and breathe. My breath is sacred, and I will fight with every breath I have to make sure that my freedoms are not taken away. And this mask mandate was taking away my freedom to breathe, to take a deep breath and not have to breathe recycled air. And there was no proof that those masks were helping us medically. And they were not going to take away my health. I'm a healthy woman, and I wasn't going to be unhealthy because somebody was scared or feared a disease. I've got home, I served 15 months, and I'm facing 4 days in jail for that mask mandate. We went through the appeal process. I lost in the appeal, and now I have to face 4 more days of jail time plus a $500 fine because I took a stand against a mask. I think that's wrong. I think that's a violation of my rights as a human being, the right to breathe, the right to live on this earth. And I think that it was draconian and that people forcing things on us is wrong.
Thank you, Yvonne. Are there questions for Yvonne today? Yvonne, what jurisdiction were you charged in?
It was in Boise. I lived in Kuna at the time, but it was in Boise at the Central District Health. It was a citizen's arrest. And then the Idaho State Police were there, and they just took me in. I wore the mask. I just refused to put it over my mouth and nose.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Well, there you have it, folks. And just to remind you, I remember Governor Brad Little saying, "Oh, there were no mask mandates in Idaho. We didn't do this. We didn't do that." And yet here's a woman who's going to be sentenced to 4 days in prison. Was that what it was for not wearing a mask in Idaho? And again, this is why this bill is important. So it passed the House this morning. It's on its way to the Senate. And the Senate is going to be on notice. We have big eyes on the Senate, folks. Big eyes watching the Senate. And so we expect them to get this bill through just as another nail in the coffin on this whole masking issue, as well as a signal to the governor that he should be pardoning folks like Yvonne.